Okay. And then we're going to start with the beautiful music because my little clock says it's almost 10:30, right? So everybody get up and dance. We're going to be singing Step Into the Light. Oh my God. George, you're hustling and dancing.
My laptop was dancing. I was sitting in one place, but. Oh, Judy?
Yes, sir.
I love you.
Aw.
I'm just like looking at your face, so like happy to see you.
I love you.
Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, you are beautiful just the way you are. Step into the love, you're illuminated by the glory of God's love. Step into the truth, from within your abundance overflows. Our love can change one life can change the world. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me, step with me, step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. Step into the light, step into the love, step into the truth of who you are. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. So move with me, step with me, step into the light.
Woohoo. Step into the love, step. Okay, I will talk to you since I'm not very good at singing like Sunny and other musicians that we've had. But I want to welcome each and every one of you to the light, to the love, to the Vita Spiritual Learning Center, where time and space cannot separate us, that we are here gathered in the light and the love, that we're here to celebrate the holy days. We're here to celebrate the benefit, the love that we have for one another, and to come together in the one mind, the one power, and the one presence. So I want to start off with our vision and mission statement. And I would like it if you feel so moved and you want to add your voice into the choir of love and beauty to say our vision and mission statement out loud. And the first half is in English and the second half is in Spanish. So if you're ready, I'm sure we all know it. Take a deep breath in and let's begin. By valuing and empowering all, we inspire a fulfilling and joyous life. Al valorar y potenciar todo, inspiramos una vida plena y alegre. Y alegre. So I love that you're all here and that you are happy and awake and aware. I can tell by your faces. And I want to start the morning off by introducing an amazing soul, a very good friend of mine, a rather handsome fellow. And George Rutherford is such an amazing practitioner. He's such an amazing good friend. How long have you been a practitioner, George?
I think 9 years.
9 years. And in that 9 years, he has deepened his faith and deepened his spiritual practice. And he may have an announcement for us today through his prayer. So I will listen with my heart wide open. Please.
All right. I wasn't going to say this, but there's also a message behind me. These hearts were drawn by my late sister, and it's a memory of her. So the love that you're seeing behind me is like the love from me, but also from my sister who passed it a little over 2 years ago. Yeah. So I'm going to invite us all to close our eyes if that's what we do. I am not offended if people don't close their eyes. Sometimes I just do a soft gaze downward. The invitation, what I'm going to do right now is just anchor myself in this moment, in who I am and what I'm bringing right now, just by being aware of my breath. So I'm not going to try to really force my breath or take a long, deep breath or take short breaths. I'm just attuning to how my breath is showing up right now, because that's the very basis of life, is that breath I'm breathing in and breathing out. Noticing how my breath is showing up today, knowing it is all good. Noticing how it goes in my nostrils, how it feels going out on the exhale. I might notice my chest rising and falling. As we each notice our breath, the next invitation is to notice how each breath is different, how each breath is new. It is still exactly as we are showing up. It's still my breath. And noticing the newness with each breath. Might be a little deeper. There might be a little tickle in my throat. I might breathe in my mouth instead of my nose. I'm just noticing that newness and that wonderfulness of each unique breath. Anchored in the acceptance of who we are, anchored in this acceptance of our breath as it's showing up, and each new breath as it moves in and moves out. If you'd like, you can try a new breath at this point. If you'd like to take a deep breath and hold it or let it out. If you want to try breathing in your nose, inhaling instead of through your mouth, or vice versa. If you want to adjust your breath to anchor yourself more fully in the meditative state, go ahead and do that for a few breaths. Not trying to force anything. I would say more saying what your breath is calling you to do. If in this breath you're noticing the things around you, that's okay. That can be part of the journey. Simply being aware of what's going on around you, or with a gentle, non-judgmental eye, being aware of the thoughts that might pass. Letting it all flow just like the journey of your breath. And just like the breath, if a new thought or a new awareness is calling to you, that's okay. Let it be. Allow the inner wisdom to guide you. And just to be aware of whatever you need to be aware of in this moment. It may have been short, but we've taken a little bit of a journey together. And as we move into prayer, I just want to make note of the process of just being aware of who we were in this moment, of accepting it as much as we can, of knowing that who we are does not change, even as our breath might change. And then that ability to play, be aware of new things, to try new things, still be anchored in who we are, but to just take a little bit of a shift. What I know is that the truth of us does not change, because what I know is that there is only one. There's one power, there is one presence. And while it has infinite expression and manifestation, that at its heart, the love that is this one is one. The mind and the wisdom of this one life is singular. I know that the power and the presence that I call God, that we might call the universe, that we might call infinite number of things, is one. And so the truth of who we are does not change, and the truth of who I am does not change. That love that God is the truth of me. That peace and that power and that presence and that wisdom is the truth of my life. With every breath, with every awareness, with every change, this is the truth of each one of us. Because again, if it is one, then any truth of the one is the truth of me. Any truth of my life is the truth of each one of us here. It is the truth of this service. It is the truth of my beloved and wonderful friend and Reverend Judy. And so I know that even as we take a journey in this time together, and we might make some gentle shifts, that we are rooted in the truth of who we are, and that we are blessed in this, and that each moment is blessed and guided by that infinite oneness. And so in the awareness of this truth, and in gratitude of being with each of us here, and in gratitude of this very day, we just turn the time over to that power and presence. We turn the details over to God. We release it and let it be what it's going to be, which I know in my heart of hearts is good. And so it is.
Thank you, George. Reverend Kevin, are you with us? Thank you so much, George. You have a power and a presence about you that just oozes love. And I so appreciate you being here with us this morning. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here, and I think Gary Takasian is going to help us out with announcements. If you're there, Gary.
I will indeed.
Thank you.
So what we have in store coming up in this month of December, actually on the very last day of December, early in the morning at 4 a.m., we will be joining together, some of us, for the World Healing Peace Meditation. And the reason it's at 4 a.m. is because there will be people in communities all around the world at that hour, and it just happens to be 4 a.m. on the West Coast. And that is really based on the original, which started in London at Greenwich Mean Time, high noon. And so that happens to fall to 4 a.m. on the West Coast and 7 a.m. on the East Coast, and then 6 a.m. in Central Time. So, and the reason we do that is because, we know as New Thought practitioners, all of us, that when we unite as one, then there is some real power in that prayer. And so, with all those minds and all those hearts and souls coming together, it is really a powerful time. So, we here at DCSL will be sharing that with Namaste in Long Beach. And so we will have some speakers and folks doing guided meditation, prayer, music, etc. at that hour to join together. So we invite all of you to do that, and there will be a Zoom link in an email coming up shortly. All right. And we also have, right after service, we have what we call Minute Miracles with a practitioner. And this is a time where you may have individual prayer in that brief time, and we break out into private individual breakout rooms so you can be one-on-one in a private setting. And so please take advantage of that as you will. And then join us for visioning for our new VIDA Spiritual Learning Center, which is our new name starting in the first of the year. And we will be doing that on December 26th, the day after Christmas at 11:45 a.m. And so we invite you to join us for that particular time as well. And I believe that is it for our current announcements. And so we will, we will give thanks to the day for George Weatherford, our practitioner of the day, and for his great meditation and prayers. And for our upcoming talk by Reverend Judy, very grateful to have her with us. We also thank our live stream moderators who keep up with what's going on out in the rest of the internet world. We thank our leadership council who gives this this center its guidance, and our music team, for all the stuff they do, and truly for all of you who join us this morning. All right, so one of the other spiritual practices that we participate in is giving as a spiritual practice. And we have several ways that you can support our efforts here at Downey CSL. And one of those is to send your gifts to our address in Long Beach, which is 3350 East 7th Street, suite number 529. And that's Long Beach, California, 90804. You can also use your bill pay service, where you just do a couple of automatic clicks and it will send it all over there as well. You can use the donate button on our website for credit card or debit card contributions. And we have just recently instituted Zelle. For those of you who have that and your financial institution participates, you can click on the Zelle button and send that to us as well. And you send it to that phone number, which is 562-928-6460, and that will go directly to us. So all of those ways you can use to support what we do here at Downey CSL. And to support our giving as a spiritual practice, we also have our affirmation that we say together, and we have the ability to do it both in English and in Spanish. And for those of you who speak Spanish, I encourage you to do that, because I am going to do it in English, because that is the one that I speak the best. So if we all join together, feel free to unmute yourselves so that we can do this as a community. And here we go.
Abundance flows in my life. I am blessed with prosperity. I give with generosity. Yes. I tithe on faith, belief, with a consciousness of love. My gift is divine circulation through me that now benefits and grows our spiritual community and beyond.
And beyond.
Now it is.
Now it is. All right, and in preparation for our message this morning, I will just allow us to move into our song in the Spirit.
I'm walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit, walking in the Spirit. the Spirit of one God, loving in the Spirit, loving in the Spirit, loving in the Spirit, the Spirit of one God, moving in the Spirit, oh, I'm moving in the Spirit, oh, the Spirit, the Spirit, oh, God, growing in the Spirit, every day I'm growing in the Spirit, growing in the Spirit, the Spirit, the Spirit, the Spirit, oh, God.
If that doesn't wake you up and feel good, I don't know what will. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, George. Thank you for setting us up for such a beautiful day. It is my pleasure to be with you guys today. And I want to start with the first slide, Gary, if you don't mind sharing for me.
I don't have it ready.
Oh, you don't? Well, then here I go. Bada bing. How do I do it? There you go. I'll do it from the beginning. So from the beginning, we've been talking about all year in 2021, timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And I just want to rest here for a second, because the timeless wisdom that Science of Mind teaches is that God is all in all, that God is the power and the presence and the beauty of life, that first, when we first are born, we have to receive the breath in order to live in these bodies. And that is the very breath of God itself. It is the power that gives us animation, that gives us wisdom, that gives us abilities that we don't have to think about heart, please beat, stomach, please digest, legs, please walk. Everything happens in its own wisdom. The body has an innate wisdom to go from the very beginning of life to changing year after year based on the needs that come with that age. It is a timeless wisdom. The evolutionary vision comes from the individualism of each and every one of us. That is who we are. What we see, what we say, what we feel affects our surroundings. It literally, our voice, our beliefs bend and shapeshift life to give us an individualized life that is specific for us, that we feel we're engaged in. So who we are and what we say is very much a part of life itself. It is our very life itself. And the journey of becoming, the December message is that life is always evolving. It's always coming in and through us. And who we be is what's becoming. Who we say ourselves to be and what we expect in the world is what we will see coming to us, through us. And at every breath, at every step of the journey, we have the ability to simply create and live again. So let's see if I can do this. Here we go. So this is the first quote from Ernest Holmes I would like to share today. And it's, nature will not let you stay in any one place for too long. She will let you stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and the advancement of your soul. How powerful is that? To me, that says so much, that life repeats itself until you get the lesson. Has anybody heard that before or experienced that before? That we are constantly becoming that which we focus on and that which we expect. You never act the same. Well, some people do. I was going to say you never act the same at 2 as you do at 22 or 42, but sometimes people carry that with them until we have an awareness of choice, and then we have change. And we are in the just at the time of the winter solstice, and as the old story goes, out of the darkness comes the light. So the winter nights, the long cold nights, are times of reflection. But the day after the solstice, the day begins to get longer and light is reborn in our life. The days get longer. As lovely as it is to celebrate life in its rebirth, it's necessary, in keeping with the season, to spend these dark nights in just that, darkness. Not to try and get ourselves out of the pain or out of the thoughts or out of anything, to sit with it and ask, what is in this for me? What is seeking to reveal in and through this? What is my heart's desire, my soul's purpose for 2022? What is seeking to reveal itself? In the silence and the stillness and the sanctity or the sanctuary of our own soul, we look for restitution, resilience, and renewal. Now is the time to dive into that deep darkness, that womb of creation. It is through the acceptance of the darkness that we can appreciate the light. My son is a Gemini. He was born in June, and that is the twins. And he constantly said he was in the duality and that he understood the value of the darkness as well as the light. And when you're willing to sit into what doesn't necessarily feel good, but ultimately becomes good for you, then you're able to have a fuller expression of life and appreciation of life. Because life is not stagnant. The energy of life is a constant flow. Sometimes people say, according to psychosomatic or holistic healing, that dis-ease is blocked energy, stuck thinking. Sometimes it's even, the world owes me something. People owe me an apology. When I worked for Tony Robbins, I discovered that people constantly thought this should not have happened, or this should have happened. There's always two sides to everything. And it doesn't really matter what did happen or didn't happen. It's like, what choice will you make right now? Choose joy. I love this saying. I can't remember where I heard it, but if you feel that you are in the darkness, surrounded by darkness, look around. More than likely, you have called to be the light. For life is to make us better, not bitter. And I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint share. I won't always describe with you every step I'm taking, but in case I do, this is what I want to share with you. To live in the awe of the newness of life. This is a pretty popular picture of a little kid that went into Home Depot and his mom was over in the Christmas decoration section. And he's just like, oh my God, it's so much beauty to take in. So much light, so much joy that every day has the possibility to be this for us if we but choose. Do we choose to live in the awe and wonder of life? Because to be childlike is in a very famous book, and I have to practice that every day, that I don't use my past as something that I beat myself up with, but to treasure and develop a collection of fond memories that keep me engaged in life and love. And I'm hoping that that little picture delights for you in some way, some memory that life is the wonderfulness of life, that life is new at every point in place. It's like that Christmas Carol movie that, you know, you go to Christmas past and you have fond memories. You go to Christmas future and you look at your life if you don't change. And then it brings you back to Christmas now. Now that you've seen the past and you vision the future, what choices do you want to make right now to bring life, love, and laughter in this now moment? Life can only do through you. Life can only do for you what it can do through you. So what are you focusing on? So if by chance you're feeling lonely during this holiday season, could you be the light in the darkness and reach out to someone? So now you're taking positive action for yourself and connecting with someone, because life is a collaborative effort. Nobody is an island. Start anywhere and watch the smiles reveal in the sunshine of your love. Be the water in the desert, the cool breeze on a hot, uncomfortable day, or the warm embrace of a cold, long night. It is important that we stay in the imagination of a childlike wonder, because we create through focus. And even in my son's passing, as I fight sadness, by remembering everything that it gave me, by being his mom and having him in my life, I'm not focusing on what I don't have. I've been blessed beyond measure, and I will hold his legacy in my heart to be one of joy, kindness, and love. And I will not use my son's memory to hurt me or anybody else. I cannot do that to him, and I cannot do that to me. And I offer that to you, that the gift of a new journey begins with staying focused on what you love, what's possible. That if you wake up sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you don't feel valued or appreciated, I can't tell you what to do, but if I could tell you what to do, I would tell you to do this. Volunteer in an area where people have less than you, not because you feel sorry for them, but because you can add value there. Go and be a part of the givingness of God and see the reflection in their face of how they appreciate and treasure you for the gift and the talent and the time that you're giving. The treasure that you are is being found by them, and you're seeing that treasure in the reflection of their faces. There's always something we can do to bring a smile, to bring some sort of joy into the life, even if we have to stand in front of the mirror and say, you, I'm talking to you. I think you're amazing. I think you're beautiful. I think you're the sweetest, kindest version of me I've ever been. And I love and appreciate you. I thank God for you. And you do that for yourself and other people to augment the light in the darkness that is inevitable. It's inevitable that we're going to see darkness because every light has a shadow. But we don't have to focus at the shadow. We can look toward the light, be a conduit for that light. And now I want to share one more time the PowerPoint. Whoops. And it says here, all laws are universal and may become individualized. The thing that stands between you and the greater good is a thing of thought and nothing else. It is not reality that you must change, but the mental reaction to it. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on, you move toward, and it moves toward you. I love that. I love that this is a picture of a Christmas tree made out of recycled bottles in a city in the Philippines that did not have a Christmas tree to cut down, but had the awareness that what they have right now, they can create something that brings joy. And if you see, the kids are participating in creating something. It doesn't have to be money. It could be whatever resources you have in that moment that allows you to create a moment that is remembered in your body and with those that are there with you. So, whoops. Stay in the beginner's mind. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. But in the experts, there's only a few. And for that, I must say that imagination, using what you have, is more than enough. Money is helpful. Money won't get rid of your problems, but will it help you arrive in some sort of comfort and style? But money isn't what people are going to remember you by. It is the love that you bring to the table, using the imagination of how can I bring joy to this moment. It reminds me of a story that I read in Chicken Soup for the Soul, where a military guy was in a foreign country, didn't know anybody, was just stationed there. It was Christmas. He had leave. He went to a local restaurant. He was there with the locals, and the locals were sitting at the table with their loved ones, but they weren't enjoying their togetherness, their time together, their Christmas spirit. And he went in and he looked around and he saw a piano. He asked the waiter if he could play at the piano. He looked around and saw that, you know, this is not how he wants to spend his Christmas. What do I have at hand? What can I use? And he got up, he played the piano, he started singing songs. One table started singing, the other table started singing, and before you knew it, the energy in the room changed from, oh, we're just getting through life, another cold holiday, to we're loving and laughing with each other, having a great time. There's nothing missing. You're more than enough. That childlike wonder, that discovery within yourself, that laugh. Live life in a moving feeling tone. Life is not a snapshot. It's a movie. You're moving. Emotion, energy creates emotion. Motions create feeling tones, creating and enjoying in your life. I remember as a little girl, my mom would take the oldest person's clothes and repurpose them all the way down to the clothes for our dolls. And I never thought, oh my God, she's doing this because we're poor. I always thought, my God, my mom is so talented. Nothing was useless. Everything has a purpose if you just can imagine it and making it the best at what you have at hand. And in doing that, she was able to create things that kept 9 kids very entertained at Christmas time. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and here we go. This is what I love. You can buy little kids gifts and they play with the box it came in. You can make things out of nothing. This little girl has a crown made of aluminum foil, and there are smiles on their faces. There's still presents under the tree, and they're having fun with each other. If it once is in us, it will always be in us. Taking a breath and diving deep. The reflection of life that you want to live is in you. We bring it, we draw it forth and out with our words, our actions, our emotions. And I think that we have the possibilities, we have the possibilities of always being in the joy of Christmas. A child's world is fresh and new and beautiful, full of wonder and excitement. It is our misfortune that most of us, that clear-eyed vision, that true instinct for what is beautiful and awe-inspiring, is dimmed and even lost by the time we reach adulthood. We are born with the wisdom of God. We are taught knowledge. That knowledge can be a lampshade on the wisdom that is the truth of who you are. Don't let knowledge and history dim your light. Continue to shine bright. The affirmation for the week is the spirit within me makes all things new. The spirit within me makes all things new. It's not what's in the world that you look at, it's how you look at all that's in the world. I want to end with this particular slide that says, enjoy your holidays. Reflect, regroup, recharge, reimagine, release, realize. May you be blessed in 2022. I pray that you don't be stuck thinking it's 2022. It's not a repeat. This is a whole new year. Remember that form follows thought. So whenever you find yourself not enjoying yourself or others, just simply stop, take a breath, and ask what you're thinking. Like George was doing in the meditation, let this breath be made new. Let every day be a blessing. Let every day be a gift. That we are blessed with the opportunity of choice. And it is in your choice that you get to be the light in the world. And you can say, you know, I've heard this over and over again. I remember Reverend Michael telling Agape one Sunday, how many times can you say God is all there is? How many times can you say that what you're looking at, you're looking with? That to make friends, Rumi has a saying, make friends with your enemy. So I love myself. Because you are the commentator. You are the announcer of what's happening in your life. So allow that to be the good news, the God spell, the love that you're looking for. And take a deep breath and say, today, I am love, I am joy, I am wisdom, I am hope. And with that, I just want to let you know that Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. All of this was created by man for man. Every day should be Christmas. Every day should be New Year's. Every day should be Thanksgiving. Every day should be a rebirth day. Don't let Hallmark tell you when to celebrate. Trust the process and let people go with the flow. Allow life to be a joy and a blessing. Allow life to be there for you, and you embrace it with the warmth of who you are. So we just take a deep breath and know that God is the very breath that we breathe. And you can, like George and Gary and Kevin say, I have said, you can close your eyes or just gaze downward. You can be in the love and the light by breathing deep. Your breath is a natural anesthetic. It helps you feel better. Your breath is the very life and the very breath of God that is being given to you, that you may live and be a presence here on this earth. That we are all individualized beauties. We are all individualized creativity and imagination and health and wholeness. There's nothing missing. All is being revealed at our own pace in our own comfort. May you be blessed beyond measure. May you continue to love your life in such a way that you give from the overflow. May you receive as generously as you give. May you know that the world is for you and not against you. May you know that you are blessed. And how good it is to know that there is not anything I need to do, that what God has already given me is full, complete, and perfect. I myself do nothing. It is the Spirit within me that does the work. Thank you, God. Yes, more, please. And with a breath of kindness and love for the spoken word, I simply release this prayer, knowing it is already fulfilled, living in the overflow of love. Thank you, God. Yes, more, please. And so it is. Ooh, thank you very much.
And now it is. Yes, thank you, more, please.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Judy.
My pleasure.
Let's show Reverend Judy some love.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. And well, you touched my heart, as I think you touched every heart who was in listening distance or energetically of your talk. It just grew by turn and measure. It was just fantastic. So thank you for that experience and that message today.
Thank you very much.
And thanks again to all of you being here today. I just want to remind you that we have Minute Miracles available with our practitioners immediately after service. So if you want to be supported in prayer for either a challenge or an issue, or maybe it's a celebration, it's maybe a moment of recognition of some advance in your heart and mind that you want to capture in prayer with a practitioner, but they are available for you in Minute Miracles, and we use the breakout feature in Zoom to pair you up in a private session. And next week we'll be visioning after service, and on the 31st, as Gary mentioned, we're joining in the World Peace Healing Meditation. Is there anything else for the good of the order at this point? Let me change my view here so I can see everybody. What a beautiful group you are today. Fantastic. Well, as is our custom, we close in prayer, and we actually sing our closing prayer, and any prayer that's sung is a prayer prayed twice. So I invite you to mute yourselves and sing out loud.
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change
Well, you looked like you were some. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Let's wave and say goodbye to our live streamers for this week. We'll see you same time next Sunday on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Thank you all for being here. And we will be